Let's talk about the provocation first. Attempted ban on the Indian captain, that was one demand by the PCB. Do remember this after the very first press conference held by Suryakumar Yadav, when he dedicated the first victory of the men in blue against Pakistan at the Asia Cup to the Pahalgam terror victims. The response, remember, from India now after the big win has been that they've refused to accept the trophy by Mohsin Naqvi. But that was the first big provocation that came in. Also cryptic posts mocking India. We've seen that on social media. We've seen that on part of certain players, part of the playing 11 of the Pakistan cricket team as well. But on social media too, we've seen right from the top several cryptic posts mocking India since day one. It's been 3 games against Pakistan, remember, so far. All 3, by the way, won by the men in blue. Encouraged aggressive play against Team India. This, of course, is a sign of what we've picked on the last few games, especially by the likes of Harris Rao, for instance, making all of those gestures, trying to provoke and instigate the Indian crowd, cheering for the team as well. All of that has been taken into account when Team India said no to accepting the trophy by Mohsin Naqvi and openly criticizing India's no handshake policy. This, remember, was aggressively taken up by the PCB. It had lodged a formal complaint and had revolted to this move that was taken by the Indian cricket team. Do remember, this was a decision taken right at the end of the first game when Suryakumar Yadav made it amply clear that there's no question of shaking hands with the Pakistani side, owing to the sentiment in the country in the wake of the Pahalgam terror attack. My colleagues Payal Mehta and Aman Sharma join us with more. Payal, to you first. BCCI has come out with a limited response already, has gone on to talk about the decision that's been made by the men in blue in saying no to accepting the trophy by Mohsin Naqvi. There's reasons more than one that have been considered in making that big move. First up, break down that story for us and the official version that's coming from the BCCI.
Well, the BCCI has in fact come out with a limited option, and they spoke to our colleague Amit Shukla, but they have to still, regroup together and take a formal call on what complaint to file. There's no doubt whatsoever, Krithveen, that India will file a formal complaint. The cup is ours and the cup should have been given to us. Mohsin Naqvi's tantrum shouldn't have really worked, and he shouldn't have walked away with the trophy. It's not a trophy that he's bringing for us from Pakistan, to be fair. And as far as the entire argument is concerned, there's not a single time when the Indian side has made an exception for Pakistan. They made it very clear from day one that neither will they shake hands with them, neither will they talk to them. And if you remember, there are multiple pictures that have come to the fore now from the press conference that the two captains have been having side to side, when Suryakumar Yadav just pushes past the Pakistani side and does not say a word to him, because the idea is very, very clear. And listen, nobody's tutoring our players. The players are as Indian as anybody else as well. And in fact, Pakistan is such a copycat, because the moment Suryakumar Yadav has come out and said that he's dedicating his entire match fee to the cause of the Pahalgam victims and also to the Indian army, Pakistani side has said that they will be dedicating their entire money, for the welfare of their army, of their people as well. So they are copycat in every manner that you can think, and India has made it very, very clear. They have tried to provoke India. They have not been saints on the field. If Indian player has come out and said, I'm dedicating the win to the victims of the biggest terror attack in my country, they have come out and made inappropriate gestures on the players. They've tried to provoke the Indian side. They've tried to put allegations on the ICC just by the virtue of Mr. Jay Shah being an Indian as well. All of this has really happened. So Pakistan has no morals. The pictures that you see of Mohsin Naqvi's social media platform over the last few days tells you that there is very, very little credibility that is left of him and the Pakistan Cricket Board as far as that is concerned. But what nature, what shape the complaint takes, that is still awaited. The BJP will regroup. We just had a election of the BJP's top board yesterday. We've got a new president in place and we've got a new team in place. Let's see how they take it forward.
Okay, Payal, we'll come back to you in just a bit. Aman Sharma is with us too. Aman, this whole controversy is taken away from the ups and downs of the game. It really was, truly was a final that everyone was glued to. There were several moments where one was wondering who's really going to be walking away with the trophy. Now that India won the way it did, and the splendid performance that's been put up by Tilak Verma, by our spinners including Kuldeep Yadav, everyone's talking about what this big messaging could be all about. And can one then say that this whole gesture of refusing to take the trophy from Mohsin Naqvi, going ahead and actually honouring the trophy by doing these mock gestures, has won a billion hearts, at least in the audience to begin with? How is India overall responding to this big decision taken by Suryakumar Yadav and the boys?
See, it's been two aspects. Number one is the cricketing aspect on the field. I think India performed excellently well. You know, when have you last seen that in a multilateral tournament, 3 India-Pakistan clashes, in all 3 matches, India won resoundingly. So in every department of the game, be it batting, bowling, fielding, India was far, far ahead, a notch above the Pakistan team. The talent was clearly, gap between both the teams was clearly very much visible, especially in the final, from how Pakistan crashed from 113 for 1 to all out for 140 odd in the next 7 overs, and how India, despite some early wickets, did put up a very good fight back, and we saw Tilak Verma leading the way in the big Indian win. That is the cricketing aspect where India is far, far ahead of Pakistan. There is practically no competition or no rivalry, as Suryakumar Yadav also said earlier. Number two is that in this particular tournament, when the tournament started also, there was a lot of criticism that why is India playing this tournament? No, we should not play this tournament against Pakistan after Operation Sindoor. We should boycott the Asia Cup. India honored it because it's a multilateral tournament. We have to host the CWC games. We aim to host the Olympics here in India. So we can't really afford to boycott multilateral tournaments, international tournaments like this. But Indian cricket team made it very clear that we are playing Pakistan, but we are invisibilizing them on the field. We will not do any gestures, any this camaraderie, any handshakes, because we don't consider them. We see that as a terror state. We have to play them, yes, because of international commitments, but we will not indulge with them beyond the cricket. And this was very clear in the first match when India did not shake hands with them. We did not. Our captains did not shake hands. Toss also Suryakumar Yadav with the Pakistani captain, and later we went into the dressing room and shut the door, and Pakistan also later did not come for the presentation ceremony. I think the things have escalated since the second match, when 2 Pakistani players, the batsman who did that AK-47 firing gesture, and Haris Rauf especially on the boundary field doing those gestures to the Indian fans, that is what I think escalated matters. Yesterday, Jasprit Bumrah bowled out Haris Rauf and gave the reply the way it should have been given. So I think that has been settled on the cricket field. But yes, India was very clear even before the final match that we won't accept the trophy from Mohsin Naqvi. See, Mohsin Naqvi is not just the PCB chief and the ACC Asian Cricket Council chief, he's also the Interior Minister of Pakistan, somebody who was very much part of the planning of this India-Pakistan war, which happened over 4 days. So very, very clearly, India cannot be seen accepting a trophy for somebody who's a conspirator of a war against India, who's been making provocative statements against India during Operation Sindoor, post-Operation Sindoor. He's not just a cricketing body chief, he's a hardcore politician and a part of the Pakistani ruling establishment, and that is why India took the stand. We won't even go on the stage where Mohsin Naqvi is present to give us that trophy, and so India has taken this unprecedented step, of not accepting the trophy from Pakistan. Later, you've seen the statements coming from Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, saying this was Operation Sindoor carried out on the field. So clearly, that is the Indian thinking, that we will not recognize Pakistan a terror state in any modalities beyond the cricket on multilateral forums. We will invisibilize them on the field, and that is what India has done. Of course, the multi-million-dollar question now, Kritzwin, is how will this trophy come to India? Because India has not accepted it, and Mohsin Naqvi has taken it to...
He's walked off the field with the trophy. So what happens next? It's once again a strong objection's been raised by the men in blue to that. We'll talk about that. Let's also put out those visuals describing each of the moments that you just spoke about, Aman. We'll come back to you in just a bit. What you see on your screens is Team India, remember, snubbing Pakistan, keeping Mohsin Naqvi waiting. Those are the visuals that we've highlighted for you there as well. These are the visuals really tell you the entire story of what happened. Remember, there was an hour-long delay as well before the final formalities officially began. And Team India there, you see them, they're nicely keeping Mohsin Naqvi waiting. They're talking about their celebrations, living the moment of the Asia Cup victory all by themselves, while everyone is up on the dais and perhaps waiting for the men in blue to come and receive the honours. That's the manner in which they kept him waiting. But not just that, PCB chief, ACC chairman Mohsin Naqvi, after feeling widely embarrassed the way he did and the way he was kept waiting, he walked off the dais with the trophy in his hand, which is once again something that's irked Team India as to why is it that he's walked off the field with the trophy, literally storming off the field, as you clearly see in these visuals as well. Team India then celebrating the win without the trophy. They decided to keep the spirit high, and then came the gesture of Team India celebrating regardless. We saw them doing all of those mock gestures of celebrating with the trophy. There you see the team members handing over the trophy to one another, celebrating with as much joy, as much excitement, as much enthusiasm. So the celebrations did take place nonetheless, and Team India celebrating these pictures and these moments by posting pictures on social media as well. What they did was very interesting. What you see here is not the original trophy. This is the trophy emoji which was used, which was crafted by some of them, and Hardik Pandya is known to really pulling off these stunts on social media. He used it to his advantage. That's the trophy emoji which is being used by the men in blue. Going across to Payal and Aman on that note once again. Aman, just take us through some of those moments when the team was seated there, they were on the field, they were celebrating the victory amongst themselves, kept Mohsin Naqvi waiting. Is it that time in the aftermath of the game that they decided that we're not going to be receiving this honor from Mohsin Naqvi? Like you said, he's not just the PCB chief, not just the ACC chairman, also a minister in Pakistan's cabinet.
Well, absolutely. And, accepting the trophy from Mohsin Naqvi, Kritzwin, would have also meant legitimizing the Pakistani narrative when it comes to the hostilities against India. India definitely never wanted to do that, for us. Yes, if he was just the ACC chief, just a cricketing body chief, maybe the situation may have been different. But here, I think the main objection India has that he is part of the Pakistani governance. He's a Pakistani governance establishment. He's a key interior minister of Pakistan. He's like the home minister of Pakistan. And, he was responsible for, in many ways, the drawing up the strategy against India during Operation Sindoor, these missiles coming, these drones coming. Yes, it was the army which was fronting it, but Mohsin Naqvi was very much there, and his mannerisms over the last few days, he echoing Asim Munir's statement that Pakistan is like a dumper truck while India is like a Mercedes, also putting out that picture of Ronaldo doing the planes gesture on his Twitter handle a couple of days back to echo what Haris Rauf had done on the cricket field. So I think India was very clear that Mohsin Naqvi is up to no good. And, I think I would point to you Suryakumar Yadav's tweet about the trophy thing, where he said that when the game is done, only the champions will be remembered, not the picture of a trophy. So everybody knows now in the cricket history books that India won the Asia Cup. Everybody's going to remember these celebration pictures by the Indian cricket team. Trophy or no trophy, India has decided that ultimately the trophy will come to it, and I think Payal can weigh in on that what will now be the modalities of the trophy coming to India. But India has made it clear that this is the new normal of cricket. Look, like Prime Minister Modi had said, new normal from Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. I think this is the new normal of Indian cricket, that we will play Pakistan on multilateral tournaments, but we will invisibilize them. We will not accord them any cricketing courtesies or conventions. That is a new normal that Indian team is set, and not accepting the trophy from the Mohsin Naqvi is like the epitome, of that new strategy.
Okay, did ACC not think this through? Questions that are very much relevant as we speak. Payal, did they not think it through? The Indian side, did they, already communicate to the ACC that, if we do win, we're not going to be receiving the honours by Mohsin Naqvi? What really happened before the game began? Was there any sort of communication, and what next? As Aman was also referring to, what happens to the trophy, and when do the men in blue finally receive the trophy?
Well, to begin with, I just had a word with one of my friends, who's part of the Indian team. I won't name whether it's a player or an official or, a support staff. He said, Pura Pakistan ko ghutne pe la diya. Aap trophy ke liye pareshan ho. So that's the sentiment that they really have. Having said that, of course, like I said, the BCCI has to decide the appropriate action. Kritzwin, you're placed against a nation which is shameless and which has actually no respect for anybody else. Leave aside, wanting to have any moral authority of sorts, to talk anything as well. They shouldn't be talking anything because of the way in which they've done what they've done to India off the field as well. They knew this very, very well. Indian side did not mince word. They made it very, very clear from day one that they will not be accepting anything from the Pakistanis. Leave aside getting the trophy, they've decided not to shake hands even with the players, which has been part of the team spirit as well. So Pakistan has been taught a lesson that nobody else has been able to teach them. They are the nation which is known to be a nation that needs the money the most, and therefore they did not back out. If there's so much of dislike towards India, they should have backed out, isn't it? They have not backed out as well. India played it in the spirit of the game, given the fact that India, like Aman was pointing out, doesn't want to make it a spectacle. They respect the multilateral tournaments, rules, etc. And India understands that they have a lot at stake because they want to host big tournaments. We are all good to host the 2030, Commonwealth Games in Gujarat as well. And now, whether we like it or not, cricket is not, and BCCI is not an indigenous or an independent authority anymore. They will come under the Sports Federation because according to the new bill, cricket is also a sports federation now.
So yes, according to protocol, the Asia Cup trophy was to be handed out by the ACC chief. But let's not forget, we're talking about a person who's regularly taken sides, who's put Pakistan cricket forward every step of the way, including on social media. Some of those examples cited by Aman Sharma just a few seconds ago. Let's talk about other